Hi, my name's Ryan. I'm from Urban Conceptz Theatre, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to create a theatrical scene. So what I like to talk about is my process, and there are many ways that people make theatre and make theatrical scenes. This is just my process, the Urban Conceptz Theatre process. So what I like to do is I like to start with a scenario. I like to draw from a universal experience, something that people can relate to, a subject matter that people can engage with. So I try to keep that quite broad so that more people can engage with my work. So once I've got the subject matter, what I then like to do is start to think about the theatre language, what language I want to put in my show. So whether that be music, that be live art, whether that be dance, movement, spoken word, script work, live music. So I think about all the different influences that I've seen within other theatre performances and other live performances and film, and try to put together a mood board or a vision board for how I want that theatre scene to look. Once I've got that, I start to think about the story. Now, the story is the most important thing, I believe, in theatre. So think about how long you want your story to be within your scene. And what I like to do with my story is think about the points of focus. So the beginning, the middle, the end. So I'm constantly thinking about how I can support the story and how the theatre serves the story. We thought about what we want to make our theatre piece about. We thought about the art forms that we're going to create within our theatre piece, and we thought about the story and pushing the story forward. What I like to do then is start to add all the theatrical and visual elements to my work, and that's what my work is known for. It's known for the cinematic, filmic sort of vibes that I put across in my work, the physicality, the movement. That's what my work is known for, and the look that my work has. So I start to think about what elements excite me in the story, and I start to use my imagination and imagine what those scenes could be, and I start to build the parameters of that scene. So I'm going to think about how we can use voice and vocals and sounds to support what we're doing on stage. So I like to use a lot of sound design within my work, and that can all be done with just recording your own voice, putting effects on there, and just playing around. And then I start to think about lighting a show. What I like to do then, once I've started to think about the lighting, I start to think about the atmosphere and the movement and the world that I want to create within that scene. And just playing, the most important thing about creating a theatrical scene is playing with the scene. Don't just work with the first idea that comes into your head. I think it's so important to play around with multiple ideas, multiple takes, rehearse it, record it, watch it back, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then we can move that story forward and play around and start to create this language that's exciting. And when you start to find it exciting, other people will start to find it exciting, and we can push that dialogue and that movement forward. What we then need to think about is how many characters do we have within that scene? And what is that character's purpose in that scene? What does that character represent? So things about characters in scenes, how can we create a character and what makes a character interesting? The best thing that we can do is watch other characters, watch characters that you relate to in TV and film and in theatre, in shows, and always question the characters, constantly question, why do I find this person interesting? Why do I find this character interesting? And then we start to break those dynamics down, and we can think about, oh, I really like the way that they move. I like their physicality. I like the language that they use. I like the way that they look. I like the way that they interact with other characters or they interact with the scenes. I like the tone of their voice. Once I've got a character established, I think about how that character serves the story. What is that character in the scene for, and how are they moving the story forward? That's most important. And then I start to think about the visual elements of the scene. How can I make the scene abstract? How can I add movement into the scene? Does the scene need dance, or do I want dance to be in the scene? And how can I make that integral to the scene or seamless in the scene and in the world? How abstract do I want to make this world? How abstract do I want to make the scene? Do I want to add text and dialogue? Do I want to add sound design? Do I want to add lighting? Do I want to add atmosphere and theatrics? Do I want to have object manipulation? So I start to list all the different theatre elements that I've seen and I've experienced, and I start to pull from all the things that I want to build within my scene. So I'm going to show you a scene now from a character who is the architect of dreams, and this is a research and development show called Stolen. It's the latest work that I'm creating, and I want you to think about what characteristics you see in this character, how they hold themselves, how they move, and what I also want you to think about is how you feel that world looks. What does that world look to you? How does that world make you feel? And then you can start to build that into your own creation of your scene. So you'll see how I make a scene, the world that I create, the energy that is in that world, the technology that I create in that world. And I want you to start to feed that into the creation of thinking about the imagination of your scene and your character.
Let the moon cast its shadows as you float throughout your day. With its precious books of dreams, made to influence the mind. We all know the reality is the paper fold. Paints a beautiful picture without losing a few bristles.
now you've seen that scene in the world that I tried to create, you can get a feel and an understanding of all the elements that you have to think about when creating a theatrical scene. It doesn't have to be that complicated, it can be much more stripped back and simple. So now it's your turn. So think about all the elements that you want to put into your theatrical scene. Think about the story, think about the characters, think about the art forms, and think about the processes that I've used, the processes that you've seen. Think about the vision boards, think about creating all the information and squeezing that into a condensed theatrical short scene that you can record, you can post online, you can keep it for yourself, you can perform it for friends and family and peers, or you can just create a scene that you write down in a notebook. The most important element of all of this is the doing and the trying, because without that, then we're never going to create new work and we're never going to create new things. So please use this information, use this process, take the inspiration from what you've seen and the things that I've talked about, and use it to create your own theatrical scene and have fun. Make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Have fun with it, enjoy it, share it, ask for feedback, and keep going again and again and again. And with that, you'll grow, you'll improve, and your theatrical scenes will grow into production, and you can invite me and you can tell me about your process and we can share that dialogue. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been insightful, and I shall speak to you soon in the next session. Thanks a lot. I'm Ryan from Urban Conceptz Theatre. It's been a pleasure. Peace.